what is my dream? It was the dream that sustained me. You know, when I was pregnant and didn't want to be pregnant, when I was molested. Who can come through that? That man took my mother from me that day. He took God from me, and he took my career from me.
Once you got used to, kind of being in Hollywood, was it hard not to miss the stage because you were just so great and so, wonderful in that area?
I missed the stage so much. You know, when you're on stage, oh my God, what an amazing responsibility. Because, I do one-woman shows now. And when you ask people who have worked from 9 to 5 to come see you, just you might want to take some responsibility, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, I started doing one-woman shows, and that made me come back alive after filming TV. Great shows like The Divas Dismissed, Bipolar Bath and Beyond, Jenifer Lewis and the Cosmos. It's just my life in song. And okay, I'm pretty good at that. Yeah, my one-woman shows have always been successful. But yes, people ask me all the time, do you love TV, theater, or film most? And yes, of course, theater. Theater is the moment. You're there. People are crying, singing, laughing, thinking. It's the most exciting place for me to be. I love being on stage. Jemele, I sang my first solo at 5 years old at First Missionary Baptist Church of Kinloch, Missouri. And from the reaction of the congregation, I stood there with my thumb in my mouth saying, oh, by the way, I went cross-eyed too.
I don't know if you described that in the book, going cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed, girl. They still haven't straightened out. But yeah, when I stood there at 5 years old, I said to myself, this is life. Oh, this is life. And honey, I never looked back.
You have, I think, 300 acting credits, okay, which is pretty ridiculous. When you look back at the body of your work, it may not be a particular project. I'm not necessarily asking you to name that, but like, what makes you the most proud when you consider the totality of the body of your work?
Well, I can give you the moments that stand out for sure. I received an electrifying standing ovation at Carnegie Hall. Oh my God. Wow. That's all I can say is just wow. I lived at 55th and Broadway for 10 years in New York City. And every time I'd pass Carnegie Hall, which is 57th and 7th, I would just point one finger and I'd say, one day. So for that to come around like that was an amazing moment in my life. What's love got to do with it? I'm proud of that performance. I was in love at the time, and I had no fear in me. So there was no nervousness or anything. The performance came out of me.
Did you feel any kind of way about the fact that you were cast as Angela Bassett's mother, even though I think you were just a year older than her?
I think
or she was a year older than you.
No, you know what? I can say this because I've said it in the show. I was 5 years older than Whitney.
Right.
And 2 years older than Angela,
okay.
I believe.
I knew you guys were close in age, but they can't.
Yeah, but you know what? She was a young mother. At that point, I didn't care. And girl, look, people say, Jennifer, why you play everybody's mother back then? I said, honey, for that kind of money, I'll play the daddy. Okay, let's get real. But when Michael Peters, who, choreographed Thriller, Tony Award for Dreamgirls and everything, when he called me and asked me would I play the part of the mother, I was like, yeah. I didn't. And, there's a rumor that I auditioned for Tina. No, I didn't. Angela got it right off the bat. I didn't audition for Tina. So get that straight. And God, come on, she was amazing. I mean, just amazing. We had no idea that film was going to be the hit that it was. Um, I saw it in San Francisco because Angela had to go to Europe and promote the film. So I was, like the female star down up there in San Francisco. And when I saw that film for the first time, girl, I was looking up and I was like this. Swear.
For those who not watching the video, she's sliding down her piano.
Girl. I was like, oh, people don't want to see this. Oh. I didn't know Lawrence raped her. What? He slapped her. Girl, I was like, come on. Oh.
He got nominated. They both were not nominated.
They did, yeah.
They both
and it was a great movie. It was a great movie. It turned out to be great. And then, A Jackie's Back, the movie that I starred in, that's become a cult classic. And we had a blast. I'm telling you, every gay man in the world can quote every line from that movie. And let me say thank you right now for that. I don't know. I've had amazing moments. Amazing. My career has been amazing. And I had an argument with my daughter once. And she said at one point with the head, one of those, I've worked hard. And she said, you've never worked a day in your life. But I immediately understood what she was saying. She witnessed how much I love what I do. So I guess, yeah, I didn't work. I wasn't working. I was just doing what I love to do. But yes, of course, I've worked my ass off. My work was me. Talent came natural to me. I was born with it. But the work is inside. Who are you? Know thyself. That's the work. What is my dream? It was the dream that sustained me. When I was pregnant and didn't want to be pregnant. When I was molested. Who can come through that? That man took my mother from me that day. He took God from me, and he took my career from me. It only lasted. He only touched my breast and tried to kiss me. But you cannot measure abuse. You can't measure it. He didn't have to rape me to ruin my life. He touched me. You can do that to a kid with a look without touching him. It's wrong. And the statistic is 1 out of 3 have been molested.
But you also in your book tell a very harrowing, doesn't even seem to do this justice, the man in your apartment. Oh, yeah. And it's one of the most amazing things, I guess I would say have read, but I was listening
Girl, ain't that a story?
That is.
To this day, I can't believe.
I was like, wait, what?
Sometimes I can't believe I talked myself out of rape. But you know what? Girl, I was working on myself even then when that boy came to the door with that little butter knife or steak knife, whatever he had in his hand. I had a candle lit next to my bed. I was working on myself. I'd stopped eating meat during that time. I was yoga. And when I look back, that little boy just walked in the wrong apartment. Or should I say the right apartment? He was angry, like all those young Black men. He said that. They locked me up for something I didn't do. And he was out to get revenge. And I remember, even though I was in shock, because everything was going in slow motion, I wasn't going to let that boy cut me. And I wasn't going to let him rape me either. I talked myself out of it. Dear God. And when I went to the detective afterwards, he said to me, Miss Lewis, you're going to suffer some emotional problems from this. But I want you to keep in the forefront of your mind that 1 out of 1 million women can talk themselves out of rape once the door has closed. Mm, I got through it.
Did they ever catch him?
No, he was just a kid that probably got on the subway and ran away. But I looked over my shoulder for quite some time after that, you know.
Mm.
You know, life is going to happen. Life, once we get in our heads that life is difficult, then it won't be so difficult. Get out of your child. I'm telling people, stop acting like a baby and screaming and hollering every time something happens. Get in your adult. Look in the mirror. If somebody's touched you, you tell somebody. And if they don't listen, you tell somebody else.